Oh, I get rocked. Yo, this shit for my kids, nigga. It's that real shit. Even though what we do is right, we still hustle till the sun come up. Crack a 40 when the sun go down. It's a cold winter. Y'all niggas better bundle up. And I better be a hotter summer. Grab a onion just to rock it down. We hot now. Listen up. Don't you know cops' sole purpose is to lock us down and throw away the key? But without this YouTube shit, your kids ain't got no way to eat, huh? We still trying to keep mom smiling because when it's, oh shit, god damn it, we still trying to keep mom smiling because when the stomach start growling and the heat start flowing, and if you're from the hood, I know you feel me. I done fuck this up. If a sneak start leaning, then my heat start working, then my heat start working. I'ma rob me a person, catch a nigga sleeping while he out in the open, and I'ma get him. Even know what we do is wrong. We gotta raise our kids while we live and make $1 million off of records. Bail my niggas out of prison. Fuck a Benny or a Lexus. Just my boys in the squatter. Niggas talk reckless, then I hit him with the Smith and. But I'm never snitching. I'm a rider. If my kids hungry, snatch the dishes out your kitchen. I'll be wild until they pick me out of lineup. Even though what we do is wrong. We keep the nines tucked, top dimes up, rap about it, wild out, fuck niggas up, laugh about it. I'm not trying to visit the morgue or freeway, move out till I sit with the Lord until I get my shit together, clean up my sins. Freeway got it in like 10 in the morning, and I could give it to you like somebody yawning, man. Even know what we do is wrong. Still deliver the order, man. And I ain't talking about chicken and gravy, man. I'm talking about bricks and yayo, halves and quarters, 4.5 to halves. You do math. Swing past and scoop up your daughter. She want to roll with a thug that rap. You do the math. He won't blast on my stacks in order, man. That's for y'all. That's for y'all. I fucked that up and that's still for y'all. Welcome. It's the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the place where we set oppression ablaze. And it's a cold winter. Y'all niggas better bundle up. And let me send this. That's going out to everybody in America today. Because chances are in 75% of this raggedy fucking country, it is a cold fucking winter. Literally and proverbially. So I want to send love and warming vibrations going out to our folks in the down south. They just said New Orleans got like 9 inches or so. I said, nigga, hell is about to freeze the fuck over. They say my people in Texas got inches of snow. They say my people in Mississippi got inches of snow. Florida seen some snow today, everybody. So it is a cold winter. Y'all niggas better bundle up. And yes, Donnie Boy is back in the White House, and it's going to be Winter in America, circa Gil Scott-Heron. If you're not familiar with the song Winter in America, I encourage you to go listen to it because it is quite apropos given the time that we find ourselves in. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to all of our Fire fam, our faithfuls checking in. Thank you guys to pieces. I see y'all out there. What's going on to Latif? What's going on to Holly Horn? Who else is out there? 2Fs is in the building. Francis is in the building. Wait, shout out to the illustrious mods. My sister and Courtney, Anna, Abby, Mama Lorraine. Big shouts. Afraid Not, Don Bird. Hey, big up Gangrene Thumb. Gangrene Thumb, thank you so much for your very generous Cash App support. Thank you so much. We will take all your redistributed wealth to my white friends. If you sitting on a pal, you got to redistribute it. you don't have to, but it'd be nice if you did. And Gangrene Thumb is leading the way by example. So we want to shout out to Double G over there, GGT, holding us down. We appreciate it. So, y'all, we've got an interesting show tonight. So, per the thumbnail, I've got some things to say about these rappers who have found themselves in the service of Heil Donald Trump, right? But it's not so much the rappers that I have heat for. It's the people that are disappointed by the rappers. It is the people that had expectations of these rappers that they would be anything else but shills for the empire and shills for capitalism. And the sooner that we release these celebrities and let them float away, the better off we all will be. Why? Because these motherfuckers ain't nothing to look up to aspire to. And more importantly, these are not our leaders. And we need to stop regarding them as such. And as soon as we release them in our brains as being the leaders of our community, the forefront of our community, we will stop being disappointed in these pathetic motherfuckers. So I would like for us to get into that coming up here a little bit later. But I'm not going to bojangle here. We're just going to get right into the thing. I appreciate you guys being here. It's BIDWKB. Please like the video and subscribe. We have crossed the 7,000 subscriber threshold. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your support. And as you know, Monday, January 20th was Inauguration Day here in Washington, D.C., roundabouts where I be. And listen, you guys, let me tell you something. Two things. It was a lose-lose situation for all, right? If Kamala won, lose. Oh, I'm sorry, Kamala. Let me say her name correctly. I know they're big on pronouncing her name correctly. Let me say it correctly. Kamala. If Kamala had won, it'd have been a loss. And Trump won, and it's still a loss. But the one thing I will say about Trump winning versus Kamala is that there was not the bourgeoisie spectacle that there would have been in your nation's capital if Kamala won. Okay, it would have been all kinds of John Legends and fucking name these bougie niggas, Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know. Like, it would have been a whole lot of that, and it wasn't a lot of that. It wasn't any of that, actually. It was some sellout coons, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But, we did have some footage. Obviously, the inauguration was well documented. And while the formal swearing in was moved inside to the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, there was some footage. Let's take a look. There we go. We've got some footage of MAGA supporters out there on the street. Klan members are MAGA supporters, right? Maybe not all MAGA is Klan, but all Klan is definitely MAGA, right? So thank you so much for Will. Thank you so much for that. Yes. So anyway, yep. And even though that was not the scene from 2025, that is the scene. That was an accurate scene in Washington, D.C. about 100 years ago, where the Klan openly marched on Washington by the tens of thousands. But Trump is the reincarnation of the Klan. And if you don't believe me, why don't you check out his homeboy? We'll go ahead and cue that punk motherfucker up. That illegal, the main illegal that they need to send the fuck home. This nigga. Go ahead, run that, Will.
There are elections that come and go. Some elections are, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
Does he mean the Fourth Reich? What future of civilization is he speaking of? So, in case you missed it, which, like myself, don't be embarrassed if you missed it. So, Elon Musk threw up what many are interpreting to be I'm gonna say Yahtzee, because I don't know how the fuck tight YouTube is with the controls and the AI and shit. NAZI salute, a Yahtzee. They say that's what they say on TikTok. They call it Yahtzees. He threw up a Yahtzee salute not once but twice. And let me tell you something. In a normal country, in a regular, actually functioning democracy that is not founded and based upon white supremacy, though good luck finding one of those in a world, but they exist. This should be leading the fucking news. The fact that the top donor to the current president's campaign, re-election campaign, a person who had a prominent position and will have a prominent position not only in the Trump administration, but had a prominent position to be seated behind the president along with the other billionaire oligarchs during his inauguration ceremonies. The fact that he threw up a flat out Hitler Nazi salute should be leading the goddamn news. And the reason it's not leading the news is because, number one, our media, legacy and mainstream media, they are captured. They are there to do the bidding of the elite and of the upper crust. and even of the Zionists, right? We read the statement from the Anti-Defamation League, which is the so-called, I say so-called civil rights organization that is here to help stamp out anti-Semitism in America, I suppose. But they issued a statement giving cover to Elon's Nazi salute, calling it an awkward hand gesture. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. White supremacy and white nationalism has been fully normalized. And as much as it is already ingrained and baked into our society, because that is what America was founded on, it wasn't founded on freedom and fucking liberty, despite what we all have been brainwashed and conditioned to believe since we were ye children, right? No, it was founded exclusively on white supremacy, on white male hetero patriarchy. It's also founded upon capitalism, and it's there, and it's founded upon theft and genocide of the natives and exploitation and the continued capitalization of black folks, enslaved people, African enslaved bodies, right? That's all America is founded on. And every iteration of America, every subsequent president, every new administration, every dawn of new century seems to remind us of this at every turn. But the fact that Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, the top funder of Donald Trump's re-election presidential campaign, the fact that this is not being dissected 6 ways from Sunday by our so-called trusted media outlets is a big tell. Okay, is that the white supremacy and the white nationalism is here. It is not going to be questioned. Elon Musk apparently tweeted out something along the lines of uh, that calling this a Nazi salute was akin to so-called dirty tricks, and that what did he say, y'all? Said something about Hitler. People see Hitler salutes or ghost Hitler salutes or some shit. So Elon is trying to play in everybody's face, make everybody think, basically gaslighting all of the folks to make all of us believe that we are crazy. Surely we did not see what our lying eyes said we saw, right? And I know y'all like, Kimmel, what did your lying eyes see? And I said, don't worry about what the fuck my lying eyes saw. I verified it with some trusted sources, okay? And the sources said that, yes, this nigga threw up the Nazi salute not once but twice, okay? And then is trying to fake like he didn't. And then we have just outright organizations that deserve to lose all credibility, like the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, actually running cover as a Jewish-led organization running cover for a fucking white supremacy Nazi. These are the times in which we live in, everybody. The dystopia is real. The upside down is absolutely fucking for real. And we live in a joke of a nation with a joke of a fourth estate, which is what the press is supposed to be, there to hold not only our elected officials, but those in power, right? And power goes beyond an elected office, right? Elon Musk is a powerful person. Even beyond his wealth, his influence that he bought with his wealth by purchasing Twitter and turning it into a white supremacy, far right-wing cesspool of intimidation, of cyber bullying and stalking and all kinds of nasty, gnarly shit. That doesn't even get questioned. Let's talk about Trump's executive orders, which again do deserve some attention. Make no mistake about it. But again, the fact that what Elon pulled, that stunt that Elon pulled, and trust me, it was his intention to be dominating the headlines, and maybe on some way, it's kind of a blessing that he's not. But I don't see it as a blessing. I see the intentional ignoring or failure to go deeper or even press him more vigorously about what it is that he demonstrated with that Nazi salute. Like, he needs to be pressed and repressed and pressed again about that, because he taken, as Kalechi would say, he take us for idiot. Elon take us for idiot. Trump take us for idiot. The media take us all for idiots. So in the wake of seeing what we saw, I hope that it is additionally condemned. I hope that actual quality Jewish-led organizations like Jewish Voices for Peace. I'm sure they said something. I shouldn't look, but I'm certain they had something to say. Why? Because they are perfectly rational and sensical people who are not fooled by simply Elon saying y'all didn't see what y'all thought y'all saw, even though that's exactly what I did, and I wanted y'all to see it. And also, by the way, not to mention the response that he received from the Trump clan crowd when they saw that Sieg Heil go up in the air and wave it like you just don't care. They started hooting and hollering. They knew exactly what it was. And by the way, ever since Trump's first tenure in the White House, they have been throwing up, his supporters and his acolytes, etc., have been throwing up all kinds of little subtle white supremacist signals. I want to throw one up, but I don't want it to be misinterpreted as a gang sign or some shit. I'm sorry, the crackers gonna come burn a cross on my lawn for throwing up they gang signs. Wow, that'd be crazy. But whatever this shit was, the shit, I don't know what the fuck this shit is. When the bitch was in the congressional hearing and she had the shit like this, and that means something. It means Ku Klux Klan. Actually, I don't know what it means, but I assume it means something nefarious, something derogatory towards non-whites, and something white empowering, right? Which, by the way, whiteness is bad. Not your European heritage. Whiteness is bad. Your Irish heritage is no problem. Your Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, British. Well, there's lots of problems. Sorry, I won't say it's no problem. There are some problems. What those nationalities historically, but my point is, it's not, we don't have a problem with you being Europe. The whole issue and construct of whiteness as it is applied to Caucasians in America versus people that are not visibly white, that's where it becomes a problem, because then it is used as a sledgehammer versus the others. But anyway, we be the others, but not exclusively just on race. Obviously, class discussion is coming into this quite a bit, and we're going to get into that when we discuss these are rappers are not revolutionaries. That's coming up here in a second. But hold on. But so yeah, I could go through some of Trump's executive orders. Kamau and I did some of that this morning on the Remix Morning Show on Black Liberation Media. But I would like to get into my petty bag. Dare I say, let me throw on my Chief Petty Officer ball hat. let me get petty here real quick, because I don't even know if this is a story outside of my area, outside of DC. And this don't. And to me, there was a lot of this was very literative. That's not even a word, Kim. That's all right, because we are here to fuck up the English language, because we don't speak the colonizers' language correctly. That's correct, as I have conversations with myself. Regardless, what I'm about to show y'all was poetic. Let me just put it that way. Poetic is actually not the right word, but my brain is out of deficiency right now, so my synonyms are not coming to me as quickly as I would prefer them to. However, so you guys know the swearing-in ceremony was moved inside to the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, okay? And normally they host the inauguration on the National Mall, right? But somehow it was too cold for the Caucasians. Nigga, since when? I was shocked. Hold on. They said, oh, they're moving the shit inside. It was too cold for the crackers. Since when? I didn't even know there was such a thing as too cold for the crackers. When have you ever seen white people actually cold? I need the evidence. I have not seen proof of it. Show me proof when white people get cold. I don't believe it. But they said it was too cold for the Caucasians, so they could not have the inauguration outside of the National Mall, as is tradition. So they had the swearing in ceremony at the U.S. Capitol. And then I guess they had the rally and shit. I don't know. The official Klan rally was moved indoors to the Capital One Arena. This is where the bum ass Washington Wizards play. It's right downtown D.C., okay? It's 7th Street, right there in Chinatown, okay? So they had these whites, and not exclusively, but mostly, yes. They had them queuing up super butt crack early in the morning, by the thousands. Capital One Arena holds 20,000. They had it packed to the rafters, right? So, problem was, apparently some of Trump's supporters, they might lack some literacy skills. It may not be literacy all the way. Maybe it's comprehension. I'm not certain. I know a lot of people do have problems with reading comprehension. and you hate to see it. But when it's 12 degrees outside, you really hate to see it. So anyway, so the people were lining up outside Capital One Arena when they discovered that they were not allowed to bring any bags of any kind into into the place, right? Well, why couldn't they bring in any bags? Well, because people like to shoot at Trump. I don't know if y'all noticed this. The Trump has been blamed on in recent months, and they would like to keep the blaming to a minimum. So they said, hey, can't nobody bring no bags in here, right? So I want to show you guys what Trump supporters did with their items, because they absolutely did not get out of line. They were not going to miss the Klan rally of the century. No fucking way. They was going to miss that shit. Why? Because they was carrying a bag, carrying a backpack, carrying a purse. Why would they miss out on the cross burning of a lifetime for a little bag? And look at what they did to the streets surrounding the Capital One Arena as they were filing in to participate in the inauguration festivities. Take a look.
Goodness. Look at this. You are not allowed anything other than yourself, essentially, into this building. We're told no bags. You got to empty your pockets. So look what's happening. People are leaving their purses, emptying them, taking their cash out, taking whatever they can with them, but then leaving stuff on the ground. Brooks, come on over here. This is a Louis Vuitton purse over here. People are leaving book bags. I found some Lululemon book bags over here as well, and handbags, because again, you're not allowed anything you're not allowed to bring anything in Capital One Arena. Huge crowds. But what's even more incredible, Brooks, let's show the floor one more time. People are leaving everything: hand warmers, food, candy, gloves, hats. And look at this here. I'm not going to touch it, but a Louis Vuitton bag on the ground. People want to come into this Capital One Arena event, and they're willing to do anything to get in, including leaving behind their expensive bags.
I've never seen nothing this insane in my life. I've been around the world, I've been to a lot of places around the world. I've never seen nothing this insane. This is trash. I see why she left it.
I didn't go inside. I wasn't here early enough, but everyone who was apparently wasn't told that they had to leave their bags, dropped them all. I found a bag with a car key in it, so I was able to contact the person through their college ID, and I'm waiting to give her car key back.
You would know.
It's unbelievable, man. Just to see how many people would, leave their own belongings here. It's unbelievable. And to see people, I think this stuff should be donated, for the people in need. But it's just crazy to see. You got rotten apples in here. You've got hand warmers, all types of junk.
It just feels weird to see all these bags. People have left a lot of really cute bags all over the place because they couldn't take it into the arena, and now they're probably going to go into the landfill.
Of President Trump waiting to get in line, and the wait was up to 4 or 5 hours for some of these folks. I want to actually show you where exactly they're waiting. Right now you're seeing folks filing out, but it's right here on G Street where they were filing and waiting. Majority of them did not get inside. Now, it's an interesting scene out here as well. You see those garbage trucks out there where the folks had been lined up. A lot of them had to be turned away with their bags, their belongings, things of that nature. So we've seen folks excited that they were to be able to be inside for the inauguration celebration, only to come outside and realize that their bags outside. This sir is just telling us everything is gone, as he just mentioned to us. Folks left their belongings outside on G Street, and now they realize that things are gone. So yes, excited that they were able to be here for this historic event, but the realization that they came outside, their bags, their purses, things of that nature have all been taken away. Now, we did speak to one man who made the trip from Pennsylvania to be inside. He said he had to make sure he was here early in line so that he could get a seat inside Capital One Arena. Listen to what else he had to say.
Today we decided, we're going to be extra early. So we woke up at 2 a.m., we got our room packed and everything, we found a spot to park, and we got here by 4 a.m. We were just down the street here. We could see the tent where the security checkpoint was. I walked up to the front and counted, and so we knew for sure we were getting in. So no worries. We were loving it.
Yeah, back out here live. We want to pan again to explain the scene of what folks are dealing with. Because of the nature of how this event all unfolded, we know plans changed to make this more of an indoor inauguration Friday afternoon. So a lot of folks didn't know what to expect when they were out here. A lot of them are digging through G Street right now, trying to look for their belongings. But we've been out here for hours, as we mentioned, and we noticed when crews came in and threw it in those garbage trucks. So a lot of folks are unhappy as they come outside of Capital One Arena to realize that their belongings are no longer there. But again, 20,000 people were able to make their way inside. Thousands of other people were not able to make their way inside. Very difficult conditions for the folks who got in. It was a happy occasion for those who didn't. A lot of them told me they were happy just to be in the nation's capital to witness this historic event. Live outside Capital One Arena, Mauricio Casillas, News 4.
I like to give shout outs and acknowledgments to the real MVPs of that situation. Of course, it would be the DC Department of Public Works. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to DC Sanitation. Get that fucking trash up out the goddamn street. Get that shit out of here. I love the fact that, again, I said this is poetic. I still am searching for the proper word. I haven't found it yet, but poetic is what we'll stick with. So I understand a bag, a purse, a handbag, a backpack. These are material items, but they can become inherently personal to an individual, right? This is my bag. This is this is that. And there was something interesting to me about these people by the thousands, their willingness to sacrifice, let's say, even a piece of themselves. Maybe they didn't see it, as, this is just $100 bag or a $70 bag or whatever. They wasn't tripping off the loss of the material item. But there's something to me about leaving a piece of yourself to go inside to be a part of a white nationalist event. The event of the century, the cross burning of the century, the Sieg Heiling of the fucking century, that these people would be willing to sacrifice their own personal items, a sliver of their humanity, if you will, just a sliver, right? It is a material thing, but a sliver of yourself. You're willing to sacrifice that to go in there and pledge allegiance to the white nationalists, pledge allegiance to the new president, pledge allegiance to the racist as fuck oligarchs, billionaires, as they sit on stage and smirk and exchange knowing glances with each other, because they understand that they are about to make piles and piles of money during this administration at the expense of, I would even say, perhaps some of those folks that were in attendance, right? Not all of those people. That it wasn't a sidewalk full of Louis Vuitton bags, right? They was picking up some Louis here and there. I've seen some other clips in which, there's like 5 or 6 Michael Kors bags. And again, no diss to Michael Kors specifically, but you can get Michael Kors at Macy's. You feel me? You can't get Louis Vuitton everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you can get some fake Jones. But you understand my point. My point is that Trump and his administration are about to run a number, not just on undocumented people, not just on Black people, not just on working class people, not just on poor people, but in which the categories in which some whites find themselves checking off those boxes, they're about to get ran true, bro. We're not about to get any help from the Trumps on the fronts of things that matter, right? The cost of food, the cost of housing, the cost of healthcare. Donald Trump hasn't promised to do anything to assist people living in this country on any of that, right? I guess he's hoping that his followers will be so intoxicated off of their racism, off of their I want to say newfound powers, but I won't even call it new powers. I just feel as though racist whites are probably more emboldened with Trump being back in office. I won't say they have new powers, but regardless, they're going to be drunk off of that shit. And I guess assuming that once the undocumented immigrants get deported, that I guess food prices will come down. Surely that's not what these dumb motherfuckers think, right? Surely we can all do. And I'm not even no economist, but I understand if you deport the workforce, if you deport for example, in agriculture and food processing, and in those areas very specifically, if you deport the workers out of those areas, not only is there not going to be food on the shelves, I mean, people are going to literally go hungry, right? And I mean, people with jobs, people who may not even currently struggle to purchase food right there. You can only purchase the food that's available. If there's no food available because you done deported all the undocumented workers, what did you really do? You didn't bring the price of shit down. You just made things that much more difficult, not only on the vulnerable people that you are exploiting, Donald Trump and his administration, but also on so-called regular Americans, right? You're going to make things exponentially worse when you deport the people that are picking the food, the people that are processing the food, etc. We're in for some rough times, everybody. I don't dispute that. I think we were in for a rough time anyway, but I feel as though, for those of you all that are of a certain age, do you remember the Choose Your Adventure books? I found one of my Choose Your Adventure books, y'all. Oh, I used to love those goddamn books. I had a bunch of them. I think I gave a lot of them away, but I kept a couple. And for those that are not familiar, Choose Your Own Adventure. It's a story, a fictionalized story, but the reader gets to select the next action that happens, right? So the page will present you with an option. So if you want to find out what's under the blanket, turn to page 62. If you want to find out what's in the closet, go to page 68. And it kind of gives you alternatives for what the next sequence of events will be and ultimately what your ending will be. And I feel as though election 2024, our Choose Your Own Adventure was in both cases a doorway leading to an abyss, right? If you open the door and step out, and you are going to fall into the abyss. And I think that was going to be our fate either way, but it is going to look a little different under Trump. There was a story that came out today that I wasn't prepared to bring it because I just heard it today, but maybe we'll bring this up on Friday, and maybe they'll mention this on the Remix Morning Show on Black Liberation Media tomorrow. But out of all of the many things that Trump has pledged to do, that he has already done per his executive orders, a set of pardons that he is pondering, it legitimately sent a chill down my spine. So please go to my playlist on this channel, Cops Ain't Shit, several stories up there, but one involving a young man from Washington, D.C. named Karan Hilton Brown. And Karan ended up losing his life in a accident that was caused by Metropolitan Police officers, one by the name of Terrence Sutton. Ultimately, Officer Sutton was convicted of murder in Karan's death. Again, he didn't shoot Karan. It wasn't, Karan was on a moped. Officer Sutton was chasing him in a vehicle, chasing him at high rates of speed. Karan was trying to get away. Not clear on what Karan's alleged offense was. I think it was riding the moped on the fucking sidewalk, to be honest, right? Which, okay. So when the police gave pursuit, Karan was trying to flee. He was struck by a vehicle and he lost his life. And the officer, Sutton, and his supervisor, I believe, were brought up on charges, both convicted. I think setting a precedent for the first time officers in the line of duty were convicted of murder in Washington, D.C. ever. I think that was I'm pretty sure it said it was a first time ever type of situation. And Trump said today that he is looking into that case. Number one, he already got the facts fucking wrong. You guys can probably find the clip. He was asked. He was like, yeah, there's 2 D.C. officers that were charged with murder and the death of an illegal, right? False. Untrue. Karan Hilton Brown was a Washingtonian, a native of DC. Okay. His mama and them from DC. Okay. And even if he wasn't, okay, it should not matter. But even if he was, rather, if he was undocumented, shouldn't fucking matter. The cops negligent and reckless actions caused the death of this young man. And Trump said that he's considering pardoning these fucking cops. And that sent a chill down my spine. Why did it send a chill down my spine? Well, we're going to start pardoning killer cops now. Not to say that that practice has not been engaged in America in some form or fashion, be it in the form of never charging law enforcement when they commit murder, or never charging them, right? Having no investigation, having nothing happen is kind of standard operating procedure. Again, we kind of live in newish times in which killer cops are held accountable by the law in any way, right? That you in the history of this country, that has not happened 99% of the fucking time. But again, we find ourselves in newish times. But meet the old boss, same as the new boss. Trump is considering pardoning these fucking killer cops. What if he pardons Derek Chauvin? What if he pardons a myriad of the handful of police that have been held accountable when they have recklessly stolen the lives of citizens in this country? I'm thinking about the fucking piece of shit deputy in Florida who murdered Airman Roger Fortson, if I have the young man's name correct. The young man who was a U.S. airman who was in his home, who was a legal gun owner. And when he received knocks on his door from persons unknown to him and opened the door with his firearm at his side, pointing down, his finger not on the trigger, the police officer opened fire on him within a second. I can't even say seconds, plural, because it wasn't seconds, plural. It was 1 fucking second that this cop murdered this member of the military for no fucking reason, besides him being Black and a legal gun owner. That was reason enough for him to be executed on the spot. What if Trump pardons him? Like, I feel as though, not to say I get it now, not to say that it's not that I didn't get it. I fully get it for our undocumented people and what that shit must feel like, knowing that Trump is green lighting the likes of ICE and others, right? Potentially white militias to do the rounding up of undocumented people. But now any sort of modicum of justice for so-and-so, let's get justice for the families, make sure this cop goes to jail. What if Trump starts issuing blanket pardons for cops who murder our people in particular? And Black, by our people, I mean Black people. And also when I say our people, I mean disabled people who are experiencing mental health crisis. So many of these fucking cops don't get charged with any goddamn thing when they kill people who are experiencing mental health crisis, right? It's abhorrent, okay? But this is the country in which we live. This is the society in which we have been thrust into, and fortunately and unfortunately at the same time, this is the same society in which we have to immediately change, okay? And it'd be nice if we could change it through like the upright means, right? If the people who are in power acknowledged our existence and our humanity and our right to have human rights and basic human needs. I don't think it's that way though. I think the way that the state exercises one-way violence, maybe two-way violence. I just saying, like, I can't see us just laying down and accepting the new normal, right? And to the extent that we should have ever accepted it, even if there was a Democrat in office, we absolutely should not have. Many people did not accept Genocide Joe and his lackey cop Mala, and took to the streets by the hundreds of thousands, dare I say even the millions, to express their displeasure behind that. And I do want to big up to the people that showed up at the People's March over the weekend. Many, many, many people took to the streets of Washington, D.C. To let Trump know that they're going to be on his ass. And they should be on his ass. At the same time, I think we need to get creative and thinking outside the box the next time. And of course, there will be a next time. An American pig, an American law enforcement officer decides to end the life of an unarmed person, a mentally unwell person, a person literally not doing anything wrong, or a person, even I don't even have any fucking objections to people holding weapons that they are entitled to have. We live in a dangerous goddamn country. This notion that nobody should be armed at any fucking time with anything is absolutely ludicrous, right? No, you shouldn't get shot just simply for having a knife in your hand. I don't think you should get shot simply for having a gun in your fucking hand. Like, the gun requires a number of actions. It requires loading and pointing and aiming and pulling of triggers. Like, just because a gun is in your hand does not necessarily make you a threat. Okay, but my point is this: some of this shit we shouldn't let ride. And I mean that. And we should not look to the judicial system in order to right the wrongs caused by police, right? I'll give you a perfect example. You take this how you want. The J6 rioters, right? Heroes. Dare I call them heroes? I know that I'm so unpopular I'm telling y'all, January 6th was fucking amazing. January 6th, 2021. How did I not have a party this year? Why did that not happen? Y'all, that's y'all's fault. Y'all didn't remind me. Y'all didn't tell me that shit was coming up on a Monday. Maybe it'll be on a Saturday next year and we could actually throw a legitimate party. Anytime the cops get busted in their face and had to eat some bear mace, it's a time to celebrate. But the one white boy, let me narrow that down. The one white boy cop, the U.S. Capitol Police, the one that you have seen his face for years now on cable news, Michael Fanone. Fanone obviously lives locally. Fanone got on TV today and said he had to go to the Prince William County Courthouse to swear out protective orders against the 5 men that came and bust him upside his head at the U.S. Capitol and took the taser and electrocuted his ass, induced a fucking heart attack. They fucked him up. Hey, man, nobody told you to be police. But anyway, so he went down to the courthouse in Virginia to swear out protective orders against the 5 men that attacked him, who were just released from jail by President Trump. Why is he swearing out protective orders? Because he claims that he and his family have been getting death threats. And he legitimately fears for his life and for the safety of his family. And I said, sir, you should, because the whites in America don't play. Okay, they don't play. Them don't play. They have burned down many a black town, many a black section of town historically in this country, have raided many an Indian indigenous village and reservation and caused tremendous carnage. Yes, when the whites and the racist whites specifically make threats, you should listen. But my point is the racist whites are making threats. You understand? You understand? They making our former officer Fanone think twice. I need y'all to pick up what I'm putting down. Okay, like if we know the name, the location of a murderous oinker, maybe things shouldn't be comfortable for them. I'm not saying do anything. I'm not saying commit violence. I'd never say that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, sometimes maybe they need to be reminded that shit ain't sweet. We fucking see you. We know who the fuck you are. We know what you've done. They need to be thinking twice when they go to the fucking store. Like, shit shouldn't be kosher or comfortable for them, especially in the age of Trump. So anyway, I'm not going to elaborate on that. I hope y'all hang on when I'm hitting down. Let me take a quick break here, kids. Thank you guys so much. Thanks so much for all that you do. Don't forget, like the video. What's up? What you got, Will?
I got a good first of all, we got a lot of trolls in the chat. So
hey, hold on. Big up. What's up, trolls? What's up, you bitch ass niggas? What's up? Double finger to the law, nigga, gripping my balls. That's for y'all.
A lot of trolls.
I'm sorry. I had to get that out.
Over 300. It fluctuates though.
That's
between
cool.
like 200 and 300.
That's great.
Plus, also we want to give a shout out to Commuted for their super chat / super sticker. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And all that you do. Yep, that was it. Sorry.
Y'all, and to my mods, guys, to the mods, don't stress yourself over these boogers. Let them cook. Let them cook. You know, first of all, can't nothing none of these motherfuckers say affect me. First of all, because I can't read the shit. Okay, so let's start there. Second of all, let us consider the source. Okay, it's a bunch of no pussy getting motherfuckers who ain't left their goddamn house in many weeks, many months, even. Right? They ain't had pussy since pussy had them. Okay, so you know. Let them work out some of that frustration on their keyboards if it makes them feel better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they won't go shoot up the school tomorrow. You feel me? So let them cook a little bit, my mods. I know y'all be on your job, and I appreciate that shit. But let them little niggas cook. Let them YNs cook a little bit. And I don't know what the fuck y'all mad for. Y'all get to Sieg Heil all day now. Aren't you happy? You should be ecstatic. You should be thanking white Jesus, right? Didn't white Jesus do this for y'all? Where is my mans though? Where is my guy? Oh my God. What was the nigga's name, Will? Who was the nigga who let the chopper sing on Trump up there in Pennsylvania? Tommy, ain't no such things as halfway crooks. Listen, y'all need to go try to collect the Tommy Crookses in your life, okay? Because I'm telling you, Tommy Crooks and his ilk are not finished with your mans, okay? They not done with your mans. And before you come into my chat talking shit, you need to go clean your own fucking house. You know who's taking shots at Trump? Not undocumented people, not black people, not Black Lives Matter. No, MAGA, bitch, MAGA. What's going on in the crib? Is everything okay at home? Trolls? Why Tommy Crooks decided to let the chopper sing on y'all daddy? What was the other dude name? Let the chopper sing on Trump at the fucking golf course. Check good. Y'all need to make sure everything is okay at home before y'all try to pop up in other people's neighborhoods talking shit. Talking shit. Please. Anyway. Go meet some girls, you little bitches. Or why don't y'all get secure within y'all selves and have the confidence to come on out the closet? Because it's one or the other. Either you can't get vagine or you can't get boy pussy. It's one or the other. So y'all need to work that out. I don't have nothing to do with that. Go talk to your homophobic father. You know what I'm saying? I mean, leave us alone. Leave us grown folks alone. Anyway, sorry. My apologies, Fire fans. I'm sorry. I get inspired by trolls. I don't know what to say. It is I am the weirdo. That's all right. I'll be all right. So I appreciate y'all being here, though. So do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, spread it out with Kim Brown. We do this Tuesdays, Fridays. 7 p.m. Eastern time, roundabouts. You can find us over on Twitch as well. BIDWKB, Rosalba and Northern Witch. Thank you so much for modding y'all asses off over there on Twitch for your homie. So as part of the inauguration celebration, inauguration 2025, so Trump to be number 47, I'm sure you guys have seen the kerfuffle and the backlash aimed at the likes of Snoop Doggy Dogg, who has plenty of jobs. Unclear why Snoop has elected to perform at Trump's inauguration, along with rapper Nelly, along with rappers Rick Ross and Soulja Boy. One of my friends was actually working the Monday night crypto ball and said Waka Flocka was up there. I said, did he perform? He said, no, he didn't perform. He was just up there. I said, why? I said, it was a bunch of crypto douchers in there. The fuck was he doing in there? I guess being a crypto doucher himself. Anyway, I digress. However, the big rappers, Nelly, Snoop, Rick Ross, Soulja Boy, receiving backlash and a lot of, I think, misplaced disappointment from rap fans, particularly rap fans maybe under a certain age. Let me throw 35 out there. Let's say 35 and under. Seem to be really disappointed with the likes of Nelly and Snoop. And let me give you a quick clip of Nelly on Willie D podcast explaining himself as to why he is, I guess, supporting Trump in this way by deciding to perform at the inauguration and not really doing a great job at it. But I'll let Nelly speak for himself. Will, let's go ahead and run that.
I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office. It don't matter who is in office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country, have to go to war and have to put their life on the line for whoever in office. So if they can put their life on the line for whoever in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever. I would ask them to show me where he's a white supremacist. Okay, he did not rent to black people. What was it, in the 70s or the 80s? Is that what they said? And like, oh, okay, is he renting to him now? So nobody's allowed to change, right? See, here's the thing. So we can talk about past, but we never want to talk about our past. If we bring up, if our past get brought up in our community for a lot of what our men did, we always call it rehabilitation. Yo, these young brothers, we've been through a lot. I know I've been through a lot. If my past was what was going to prevent me from winning today, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that he ain't got some fucked up ways. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for. But what I'm saying is that he's the president of the United States. He's not the candidate for the United States. He's the president. He won.
I like how Nelly is kind of referring to the president as though he is the king, right? Oh, do you think our men and women who are in service in the military, you know, they go out there and put their lives on the line for whoever the president is? Damn, I didn't know. Did they know they was doing that? Our men and women in the armed forces, did you know that you was out there putting your life on the line for the fucking president? At least let try to uphold the lie that you trying to spread democracy and freedom, for fuck's sake. All them people, did they die for Bush in Operation Desert Storm and Operation Shock and Awe? They died for the Bushes specifically. Wow. So there's that part. But later on in the interview, Nelly goes on to talk about how he doesn't think that we live in a Klan country, which, as a person talking about Nelly, who is from Missouri, St. Louis in particular, I thought that was really rich. I thought that was really rich. And I told you guys, like, honestly, I'm so appreciative for the fact that I lived in both Oklahoma and Missouri at points in my life, because it gave me a real perspective of America. America is more like Missouri than it is like Maryland. Trust me. Trust me. And Nelly ought to know, as a black man who grew up in St. Louis, how fucking racist, like, dog, like, black people in St. Louis and Kansas City, for that matter, are quite phenomenal. I love black people in Missouri. It's the whites that are scary. And it's a deeply racist place. And as someone who was not from Missouri and who lived there, you could feel the racism in the air. It was palpable, right? I imagine Missouri must feel amazing for white people, because as a black person, that shit felt scary as a motherfucker to me. I'm like, I don't know about out here. I don't know if I'm gonna stay out here. Let me get my resume in the goddamn mail. I got to get the fuck out of Missouri, because this shit is frightening. But anyway, so that was Nelly giving his little spiel. And when he talks about, can people change, or is Trump a white supremacist, and he didn't used to rent to black people in his buildings in the 70s. Trump and his daddy actually refused to rent to black people in New York during that time period. And Nelly asking, can he change? And, you know, people getting allowed to change. Here's the thing, Nelly, you need to understand that you and Trump don't come from the same places. So Trump doesn't really have to change, right? Trump is a racist and has maintained his racism. I know that there are plenty of coons around him, and that doesn't absolve him of being racist because he entertains the company of black people or allows himself to be rapped to and sang to by black people. That doesn't make him any less racist, okay? And don't get me wrong here. My audience knows this. Some of y'all trolls might fucking not, but let me tell it to you in case you don't know. Joe Biden is absolutely a racist piece of shit. Kamala is a white supremacist in yellow face, okay, in light skin face, right? Like the people are capable of racism and upholding white supremacy regardless of their phenotype presentation, regardless of how they present racially or otherwise, right? So it's interesting to me that Nelly got a lot of critique, and I should have actually played some of the clips I saw from the Ute them, from the 35s and unders, showing tremendous disappointment in Nelly and Snoop. Actually, let's run that Snoop performance real quick so we can see how Snoop was received at one of the inauguration balls when he performed in celebration of Trump 47. Take a look. I can tell you that did not look like Snoop performing at the Roots picnic. when Snoop performed at the Roots picnic, baby, it was a motherfucking party. It was hands in the air, doing nothing but a G thing, this, that, and the third. Look at them dead ass, fucking rhythmless ass, not clapping on the beat, not knowing the. And that's the thing. The white should absolutely know nothing but a G thing by now. Goddamn, the song is 35 years old. The whites should know it. And a lot of whites do know it, by the way. But again, Trump's fans and supporters are the least cool European Americans ever built, ever. Really, I mean, they the worst models ever made of European Americans. Like they got no sauce. No, as the kids say, the Riz. I say, let fucking pizzazz. Y'all niggas ain't got no flavor. Y'all is not even salt and pepper ass. Like, y'all ain't got no lemon pepper. Y'all ain't got no paprika. Again, we could get into the status of the cleanliness of your legs. I mean, we can go a lot of places, but I'm gonna leave them alone at the moment. Let me circle back to these rappers, okay? Because like my thumbnail said, these rappers are not revolutionaries. And the sooner that we can very quickly not only disavow ourselves, but disavow our youth of such idiotic and infantile sort of ideas that simply by holding a microphone, using expletives, putting a lot of misogyny in your music, and maybe even giving some valid FUs to the establishment, to the police, to the courts, whatever, right? Those things are valid. I mean, not valid. That is okay, but those are not things that a revolutionary makes, right? Rap music and hip hop culture were culturally revolutionary. They were not politically revolutionary, dare I say, in any way. We talk about this on Black Liberation Media. The formation of the Sugar Hill Gang with Rappers Delight, hip hop, the hippity hip hoppy, don't stop, rock on, baby, to the ribbon of boogity bee, right? That was formulated. It was crafted. It was not something that was organic. Like these three MCs sat in a room or sat in the studio and decided to pen this. Like it was something that was contrived and put together and marketed and packaged and released as something that would be appealing to the masses. And did rap music come out the gate appealing to the masses? No. It did have a lot of roadblocks. I talk about how even urban radio was an impediment to the growth of rap music, at least via the radio airwaves, because they day parted rap music, meaning that they didn't play it until after 6 p.m., which kind of cut the audience down the people that were available to listen to rap music, etc. But once it blew up, it blew, right? But the genre itself was never politically revolutionary. There were politically revolutionary artists within the genre, and there was even a period during hip hop's, some would call it the first golden age of hip hop. Big up to Dart Adams, hip hop historian out here, rap historian. But the period, let's say, I don't know, 86 to 89, 80, 87 to 91, where there was a lot of pro-black imagery, African medallions, people wearing natural hair, a lot of African inspired looks within the fashion, the prints, the kente cloths, and all that stuff. There was a period in which those images were acceptable and even promoted, but they were never promoted by themselves. It was sexy girl rappers and hard-faced, thuggy rappers all mixed in there together. That's why rap of the 80s and 90s was so amazing because you had variety. Like, you could be in a variety of different lanes. You could like a bunch of different rappers who were all rapping about all different things. I don't think we have that same level of variety in 2025 amongst rappers. But at the end of it, none of it was revolutionary, okay? And artists like, let's take Snoop, for example. Snoop always wanted to be famous, right? I hear these stories about Snoop now. Snoop showing up at the Raiders, I guess, were they the Oakland? I don't fucking know. The Raiders have moved so many times. Maybe this is when they still the LA Raiders. Like, Snoop used to come and stand outside of the practice facility and try to get it. Like, he was a bat boy, I think, for an MLB team for the Dodgers or something. Like, Snoop was always kind of thirsty for fame. He wanted to get on. It just so happened that he had a little rap to him, right? So Snoop wasn't even the greatest of MCs, but he had a delivery and he had a flow and he had production from Dr. Dre, right? Which would all help to fuel his rise. But what also helped to fuel Snoop's rise is that during the early parts of his career, Snoop was charged with murder. And I know a lot of y'all youngsters either don't know or don't show or don't care what's going on in the hood. But I can't tell you how huge of a story that was, because Snoop Dogg was literally on trial. I think he was charged with first-degree murder, if I'm not mistaken. And the eyes of, if you think OJ shit was big, and OJ shit did get big, don't get me wrong. But when that Snoop murder trial came down and when his verdict came down, don't y'all remember Snoop was in the courtroom like this? Like, he was made famous because it was believed that his gangster lyrics, his gangster rap lyrics involving guns, murder, violence, misogyny, drug dealing, all of that, fueled what ended up happening in the tragic unaliving of, I believe this was a security guard, that ended up passing away, that Snoop was charged with his murder and later acquitted of. And my thing is this, like, there was nothing that we could take away to inspire ourselves from Snoop's story or from Snoop's lyrics, right? And Snoop got his commercial success and his street credibility based off a young Black audience. Okay, I include myself in that audience. I was part of that audience, probably in the younger demographic of that audience at the time. So Snoop was validated through us accepting him, through us supporting him, through us, being Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Death Row fans. But never once did Snoop in his lyrics ever inspire anybody to organize. It never inspired anybody to vote. Fuck the Police was an anthem from NWA. And the West Coast as a whole, as a rap side of the rap world, rap nation, everybody sort of internalized fuck the police because they already had it in their soul any goddamn way. But when NWA put it on wax, people was like, oh, yep, we get that. Like that's all well and good. So, but my point is this: I don't see at any point in time has Snoop, specifically Snoop, ever presented something that we as a community should ever have aspired to be or wanted to tell our children to be like, or tell our younger cousins, nieces, nephews, like, oh, don't you should be like Snoop. No. But to sell records, right? And Snoop, once he got the validation from the young Black crowd, that translated into the commercial success, because once young Blacks validated him as cool and legitimate, that brought young whites on to support him commercially, make his albums go multi-platinum, etc. But at any of this, has any of Snoop's fans looked at him, or passive fans or active fans, ever looked and been like, Snoop is going to be the one to wrap us to freedom? Like, Snoop is going to be the one to wrap us out of poverty. Snoop is going to be the one to wrap us out of police brutality. And to be clear, Snoop has never presented himself to be any of those things. But my point is this: anybody short of that is someone that we should not, as a community, view upon as leaders. And we have this really nasty habit. This is an American habit, no doubt. And maybe it happens elsewhere, I don't fucking know, but it feels very American. And then even within America, it feels very Black American, as Malcolm told us. Just because people are celebrities, just because they are visible and have reach, does not make them leaders. It doesn't make them people's opinions that we should listen to or value, per se. Not say that we should invalidate them simply because they are celebrities, but maybe give more weight to the opinion of the organizer, of the activist, of the scholar, right? Of the people that have done, I guess, a little bit more studious and dedicated work and energy towards Black liberation, right? We cannot keep looking at celebrities as our leaders. And when they are presented to us as our leaders, we have to reject it immediately, like immediately. Because I don't get how, and I hate to pick on Meg, but she out there, Megan Thee Stallion, when she appeared at Cop Mala rallies, like, I don't care that Megan Thee Stallion is supporting Cop Mala. I mean, what does Megan have to offer me beyond, dope flows and lyrics? Nothing, right? And I think as a mature middle-aged woman, that is a lot easier for me to see. In retrospective is 2020, hindsight is 2020. I can see that a lot clearly now that I'm older, right? But I'm listening to these younger people be disappointed, like, and we have to cancel Snoop and Nelly. Listen, you have to cancel all of these celebrities. Oh, they sold their soul. Baby, they didn't just sell their soul for Trump's inauguration. Their souls probably got sold once they signed their record deal, once they signed their contract, once they signed that 360 deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will do a lot for money and for status and for public approval. And we have to keep that in mind, right? And Snoop, Nelly, as examples, obviously see themselves in a higher class than whence they came. And they, as I can't even call them capitalists because they don't own shit, right? Like, they don't own no means of production. But as, let's say, aspiring capitalists, maybe Snoop does own something, I don't fucking know. But they aspire to be not performing on stage at inauguration. They want to be where Bezos and Zuckerberg and Elon was sitting. That's where they aspire to be. They want to be on stage behind the power. They don't want to be, they nothing but a G thing, for the crypto bros. No, they see themselves as ascending to the highest heights is their goal, right? And if they are aspiring to be billionaires, then that should automatically render them our enemies, because there's no way that a billionaire, a Black one especially, could ever have the best intentions of the community front of mind, right? A billionaire's top priority is to make more money. money for a billionaire comes in the form of exploitation, right? And Snoop and Nelly got us. They exploited our validation of them as rappers, of them as cultural figures. They have exploited that, and they have capitalized on that, and they are going to continue to do so. And we should have no other expectations of them beyond them doing exactly that. Okay. Malcolm called celebrities that are trying to talk to black people about politics clowns, puppets. You know, who gives a fuck what LeBron or Kevin Hart or goddamn Snoop Dogg got to say about what our current condition is? They have expressed to us, these black celebrities, that they're not interested in the status of our current condition. They're not interested in how Trump or Kamala, for that matter, how these continuing neoliberal policies that emphasize capitalism, that emphasize the exploitation of the environment, that emphasize the fact that Americans live in a shithole country in which we don't have access to free and universal health care, regular health and mental health, that we have not seen the minimum wage go up in almost 20 years, maybe longer. I can't even fucking remember. I think 09, is that the last time the minimum wage went up to $7.25? And that drill baby drill is going to be, was going to be the plan even if Kamala had been elected, right? So decentering the value of celebrity from our entire society, but specifically for black people, I need us to cut it the fuck out. Okay. Kerry Washington is not a fucking leader. Gayle King is not a fucking leader. Oprah is not a fucking leader. You know what I'm saying? As much as I don't particularly care for Al Sharpton, he is a leader. Now, whether or not you agree, which in some cases I do not agree with the positions and the stances that Al Sharpton takes, I will give him the fact that he does lead, right? He does organize. We may not agree, but he does do those things. So maybe if you are inclined, you should listen to Al Sharpton way more than you should listen to fucking Snoop Dogg. And dare I say, you shouldn't listen to either one of them niggas. But if you're going to do it, then do it from someone that's actually been out there in the streets. Been out. I mean, I'm talking about on behalf of our people, not just on behalf of slanging drugs and shooting, right? That's why Snoop allegedly was out in the streets. But my point is this, y'all: the whole notion of celebrity as something that is to be pedestaled and idolized, it has to disappear. Like we are seeing the cracks in the foundation of the position that celebrity holds in our society, which I think is a wonderful thing. I think it's a great thing. And let this rebuke of Snoop, Nelly, Soulja Boy, and Rick Ross exemplify that. Like, let that be another crack in that foundation. Like, this is a good thing. And when people say cancel them, you need to cancel all the celebrities because they all got there probably not as talented as people that were also probably vying for their same position. But the difference is the celebrities that you see, the ones that are platformed and pushed out, those are the ones that were willing to do something strange for some change. You understand? And all of the Diddy shit coming out sort of confirms and validates that for us. So if you see a certain celebrity, any celebrity, this could be your favorite. This could be your favorite going back 20 or 30 years. In my case, you know what I'm saying? I'm concerned what I'm gonna find out about Mary J. Blige, but that's another story. But my point is, like, the ones that you see are the ones that probably were allowing themselves to be humiliated and exploited in ways that maybe another comparably talented or even more talented artist or performer refused to go along with. So when you see the celebrity, by the time you even see them, by the time you lay eyeballs on them, who knows what kind of hoops this person has been put through or voluntarily jumped through, right? Because a lot of people are willing to do the most just to have that attention, just to have that public validation. I mean, y'all, I'm gonna keep it a buck here. I'm keep it a buck. I mean, that's part of the reason your homie didn't, but you wouldn't get far. Dog, there was some things I wasn't willing to do. There were places that I was not willing to go. There were people that I just did not feel the need to cozy up to in order to advance my career. So that, like, kind of speaking about my industry, as it were, when I see first of all, when it comes to black radio, the amount of washed up rappers that are in black radio, I have to laugh, right? Because it's like, these niggas can barely, I won't say they can barely talk because that's rude. And that's not true. They are articulate enough to speak behind a mic. But when it comes to the level of thought, to the level of, I guess, even passive paying attention to current events, to politics, going back a couple of decades, it's just not there, right? like Trina and the Brat are on the radio because they are Trina and the Brat, not because they are amazing on the radio, right? But even for the non-celebrities that find themselves on black radio, I'm like, dog, I can only imagine. Let's say you didn't even have to grab your ankles. Okay, let's take grabbing the ankles out the equation for a second. All right, even though I'm sure grabbing the ankles is absolutely in the equation, but let's take it out of the equation for a second. The amount of shit that you had to endure. Like, I look at people that are currently in black radio and are successful. I'm like, dog, the amount of shit that they had to put you through, especially for the women. I'm like, wow, I know you were underpaid comparable to your male co-host, right? I know it like I know my goddamn name. Just the amount of indignity that people suffer behind the scenes in order to allow themselves to be presented as the culture's top thought leader or the cool girl or whatever. I'm like, yo, it was shit I was not willing to do. It was indignities and humiliations that I was not willing to endure, especially from those who were in a upper position in the industry than me, but I never felt as though these motherfuckers was better than me, right? And that's why I was branded as difficult, and I'm not difficult. I'm actually a very nice person, believe it or not. And I'm a very hard worker. I always showed up on time, early, stayed late. I was always willing to do extra shit like a fucking goofball. And I had to learn my lesson because my labor was being exploited and my compensation didn't reflect the amount that I was putting out or the efforts that, especially me as a disabled person, by the way, in which I definitely had to keep my disability masked, because I can assure you, well, no space for y'all disableds in motherfucking hip hop. Okay. You feel me? Like, especially in the arts in the 2000s. I'm sorry, disability where it's at. So I had to mask my shit and still had to show up and do everything that everybody else was doing, right? And they expected me to grovel. They expected me to be complacent and content in being underpaid and overworked, and I wasn't. Okay, that's why I don't have kids, y'all, because I can be poor by myself. Okay, like I knew they was going to take my career from me, and I was fine with it because I have standards for my person. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to leave this planet one day, and I'm gonna leave here with a clear fucking conscience. I'm not gonna say nobody was able to get over on me in any not in any humiliating, degrading way. Nope, didn't happen. Wasn't gonna happen. I wasn't gonna stand for it. I don't give a fuck if you never heard of me. I don't give a fuck if you ever hear of me. I don't give a fuck if popularity doesn't ever come my way, bitch. I did this shit my way. I was gonna say like Usher, but not like Usher. Not like Usher, not like Usher, not like Usher. But my point, I'm sorry, I know I have lots of points. My point is this is my millionth point. Character and respect and truly trying to be a righteous, and I don't mean religious, I don't mean pious, I mean righteous. I mean literally, you do right by people. The karma and the energy that you put out, it comes back, and the energy that comes back, if it's good, then you did good, right? And even if you weren't like myself, if I wasn't nationally recognized or accepted, that is okay. You know what I'm saying? You cannot put a price on my peace. All right, ain't no fucking tapes floating around of your homie. Okay, ain't nobody got no blackmail shit on me. And I promise you, many of y'all faves that sit behind microphones and behind cameras cannot say the same. They absolutely cannot say the same. Okay, somebody got something on you on tape, and you're not gonna like it. But I'm not that way. So anyway, and I don't mean that I'm not. You know what? Let me shut up. But you understand. If I did it because I wanted to do it, not because somebody was holding something over me, not because somebody was trying to, oh, well, we'll give you this endorsement or we'll give you this job if you just, that's a no. That is a no. Windra, thank you so much for your Venmo support. You rock like a mug. Who is this? Myrtle? Thank you so much for your Cash App support. We appreciate that. And yo, who are these people? We appreciate Lauren. Thank you so much. No, Lawrence, my bad. Oh, that's a librarian. Thank you, librarian. Not to say who are y'all people. I didn't mean to say it like that because I normally know who sends us money. So when I get new names, I'm like, oh, it's a lady. we got new people in here. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support. Y'all, stop looking to these rappers. Stop looking to all these celebrities as the ones that are going to give us the good word to get us out of our condition. Dave Chappelle is not about to tell us stand-up jokes to lead us out of our oppression. Okay. Lawrence Fishburne is not about to act or I was about to say Montel Jordan. Lord, Denzel Washington, Montel Jordan, neither, but Denzel is not about to assume a role that is going to inspire us to kill our masters. Okay. We need to look for inspiration from the people, number one, that we encounter with on a regular basis. Me personally, my mama is very much my person that I look up to. My mother is incredibly strong. She has overcome a good many of life challenges, and she has outlived a number of her enemies. I aspire. I stand for a queen. How do we hate? How do we stunt on the haters with long fucking life? Outlive them bitches. That is correct. I look up to Jacqueline Lukman. I look up to even people that I don't know. People on the internet. I told you guys, I'm the biggest ginormous fan of Imani Barbarin. Anna sent me a clip of Olay. And I'm familiar with Olay. I look up to Olay. I look up to Ricky Ryan. I look up to a lot of these young stunners out here. And that's who you need to find inspiration from, not from some fucking goofball ass celebrity who done did God knows what who knows who, maybe not even consensually. And you have to criticize the machine that elevates such people, right? And again, with the whole Diddy situation, let that be a lesson to us all, right? All that glitters is not gold. And people that we see on videos and see here and see there, these people have been abused and harangued in ways that are not acceptable. So you can reject that art, right? Because you should not the art. Let me rephrase. You can reject the artist and the machine behind it, right? If somebody does present you with some art that you like, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do this. How do I accept the art but disregard the artist if they have politics or positions that I don't agree with? I'm not exactly sure how to do that. But I can tell you this, when it comes specifically to Snoop and Nelly and the like, all you have to do is stop consuming them. And maybe Snoop and Nelly are at a certain position or at a certain elevated status where they've already extracted all that they needed to extract from us, right? They extracted all of their cool, all of their validation, in order they've been done crossed over to other audiences, and Snoop continues to cross over to Martha Stewart's audience, for fuck's sake, right? Like they ain't no more crossing over to the whites than that. Like once Snoop got Martha Stewart's audience, oh nigga, he ain't looked back at niggas since. And which is why Snoop was not tripping about doing this shit for Donald Trump, right? These capitalists, they contradict themselves or as wannabe capitalists in Snoop's case, you know, they contradict themselves. Yeah, everyone's seen the clip of Snoop in 16 or whatever the fuck, Trump's first run, where Snoop was calling whoever performs for the Trump first, which one of you cool ass niggas gonna get up there and shuck and jive? Well, 8 years later, Snoop, it was you. It was you, the coon up there shucking and jiving. And we appreciate you for warning us with that. And to be clear, hold on, let me say this real quick. I've met Snoop. I have smoked with Snoop, y'all. Smoked with Snoop. Okay. That is a rap head and a weed head's dream, y'all. My smoking list, if I do say so my fucking self, okay? I smoke with Snoop. I smoke with Redman. I smoke with Ghostface. I smoke with Jill Scott. I've smoked, okay? And I will always fondly remember my experience passing blunts with Snoop Doggy Dogg and the Dog Pound, because that nigga Daz was there too, right? So, but that doesn't mean that we don't have smoke for that nigga, literally and figuratively. You know what I'm saying? And I whereas I liked Snoop on a personal level, when I met him, I found him to be pleasant, engaging, respectful, the whole shebang. This nigga wasn't trying to pimp me. This nigga didn't ask me, was I trying to sell some box? No, this nigga was a regular fucking dude, and I appreciate him. And again, I will always fondly value the memory. But make no mistake, Snoop is not here to save us. Snoop is not here to lead us. Snoop is not here to guide us. Snoop is here to enrich himself, to continue to cement his legacy as a rap icon. Which, you know, he may have suffered a bit of a reputation hit here, but let me remind you all, many credit James Brown with being the godfather of soul, of actually a handful of genres of music. And lots of people, especially my age and younger, do not remember James Brown for when he came out and endorsed Richard Nixon for president. Everybody knew, black that is, and white, that Richard Nixon was a cracker. No shock, no surprise. Everybody knew he was a racist piece of shit. James Brown, soul brother number one at the time, endorsed Richard Nixon for president because James Brown owed taxes to the IRS. I'm not sure if Nixon promised to help him with that, or if James Brown assumed erroneously that Richard Nixon would help him with his tax situation. But that was James Brown's motivation. Basically, he was motivated by money. He was motivated by capitalism for all intents and purposes. He didn't want to have to part with his money and give it to the government. So he endorsed Richard Nixon. Now, when we think about James Brown's legacy, usually that is not brought up. So maybe Snoop might be able to skirt his way around this as time goes on, as time passes. But the difference is, I don't know if there is a difference, really. There may not be any difference. Oh, I guess the time will tell. We'll see how history decides to treat Snoop. But in the meantime, black people, if you're pissed that your favorite rapper has done this, you need to boycott that nigga. That's it. You need to stop consuming him. That's it. You don't watch Snoop on the fucking Olympics. You don't watch Snoop on the NFL. You don't watch Snoop. You don't buy Snoop strain of weed. Like, this is how you hurt people who are motivated by money. You hit them in the pocket. So whatever Snoop has got going, whatever commercial endeavor, whatever product Snoop is trying to sell you, don't consume it. And tell your circles not to consume it. Don't get on the internet and complain that Snoop fucking performed that Trump inauguration and this nigga's a sellout. And nigga sold out when he signed his fucking record deal, okay? Like, ask Suge, what was the terms of Snoop's Death Row contract? I assure you, he sold out on day fucking one, okay? And the difference is he continues to sell out, but his price just gets higher. That's it. So what we need to do is, if any celebrity, but I say that we reject celebrity outright. We reject it wholesale. If there's a movie you want to see, bootleg that shit. Okay. Like, if there's music that you want to consume, bootleg that shit. Fuck these niggas. Don't put no more money in they fucking pockets. And that's it. And that's the show. Gang, love yous. Will, do we have any parting shots that we need to tell the people? I see the chat moving. I can only assume it's nothing but well wishers in here. I assume it's nothing but people blowing me kisses and throwing me roses, right?
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to Mr. Faulty. Always appreciated your perspective and analysis now more than ever. So
Thank you, Mr. Faulty.
Mr. Faulty, and thank everybody that joined us tonight.
That's lovely. Anyway, gang, we will see y'all back here on a Friday. I want you all. Did I shout out everyone at Randall's Bucks? I think I did. Gang, I appreciate your support. If you want to support the platform, continue to do so. We appreciate the super chats that came forth. BIDWKB is where you can find us on Cash App, on Venmo, paypal.me/BIDWKB, patreon.com/BIDWKB. I do have something coming on Patreon. For those that ever tuned into my Twitch turnups, I actually was able to save several of them. And I would like to upload them shortly to Patreon, though I am considering doing a Twitch turn up tomorrow. I haven't had the inspiration, to be honest. It's just part of the reason I haven't done one. So if you follow me on Twitch, BIDWKB, keep your notifications set because I might go do that tomorrow in the evening time. Okay. Thank you so much to our wonderful mods, Courtney, Anna, Abby, Mama Lorraine, Donnie, love you. Thank you, Latif. Thank you to my son, Tyler. Alicia, thank you for your Cash App. Dawn, thank you for your Cash App as well. Charles, I was going to shout you out on Classical Breakdown. Charles ran us some bucks. And of course, Gangrene Thumb coming through with the big bucks. Thank you so much to Will and Molly. And we'll see you guys back here on Friday. Love you guys. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Deuces.